We're just having a little extra celebratory fun, given that it is this extraordinary weekend. And as we open this time officially, it is my privilege and my pleasure to say happy 250th 4th of July weekend, beautiful people. I am Reverend Vicky Jeter, your minister for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. We welcome you here on this Sunday, July 5th, 2026. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome your challenges and your questions. All pieces and paths of spirit, all areas of life, and all parts of ourselves are essential to a world that truly works for all. So whether you're here with us for the first time, or if you've been with us since the very beginning, or if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, we thank you for being with us because you are why we're here. With all of this in mind, I want to invite you all to take a moment to stop, take that pausing breath, check in, and see what brought you to be with us today. And from that place of relative stillness, individually and collectively, touching in to that space where there is zero separation between ourselves and our source. I recognize one life, one love, one law as infinite harmony. The one creative source emerged and emerging as all that is, all existence. There is no other. And as it is the all that is all, it is all I am. As it is the all that is all, it is the I am of each person within the sound of my voice, paradoxically so uniquely unto themselves, and yet the whole of it, the all of it, I am that I am. And from this alignment in mind, heart, and soul, I open this time trusting that as vessels of spirit, spirit maximizes the opportunity here in this moment, that as we open to a new theme of being whole no matter what, as we open to the theme of recognizing extensive history and knowing that both what we reference as the old and the new are all a part of the whole. And I know that this word is reaching each person within them where they can hear it at a soul level. And thus we are all uplifted from the individual to the collective. And as we intend the highest and best for everything that it touches, thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for the opportunity. And I just release it. I let it be. And so it is. So as we kick off our honoring of our 250th birthday of our nation, here is an extraordinary video that this happened recently. It didn't exactly happen this weekend, but it happened less than 7 days ago. And it was over the period of what's called the Strawberry Moon. And this is that moon rising and settling itself right over the pinnacle of the flame of Lady Liberty. I don't know who caught that, but I mean to tell you, the synchronicity that would be involved in that and recognizing how the sacred shows up when we're paying attention to catch it. For our new theme of the month, as I was mentioning earlier, whole no matter what, it is also a pleasure to let you all know that Louise Talon, who at one point was a practitioner for us for about 9 months, she is the one who developed this theme, and that's going to make it so much fun to work with because Louise really, really has this teaching embodied and expresses it in everything she does. I haven't looked over the whole month yet, but as soon as I saw that it was her, I was like, oh, thank goodness. And so recognizing that we are truly, truly, as Ernest Holmes declared, perfect, whole, and complete, no matter what. Our topic today is empowerment and compassion for all parts, the parts we see and appreciate about ourselves, as well as the parts we would rather shy away from, deny, and, tuck away somewhere, hopefully where no one would ever know. We're going to be looking at all of that. And so Katrina and I were inspired to find a new opening song. And so this song is I Am by Denise Rosier.
I am made of the light that hung the stars in the night, a perfect thought since time began. I am I am one with the love that's holding all of us. Its power in my hands. I am called by the voice that speaks of truth and joy. Forever blessed where I stand. Let's affirm it together. I am.
I love Denise Rosier. What a beautiful expression of God. So, for our announcements today, our founding minister is speaking next week, Reverend Carolyn Harville, and Whole No Matter What, Who I Am reflects how I am. What a beautiful topic. I look forward to seeing you all there. Oh, we have been doing this incredible, The Magic of the Soul. We did a class, and our dear friend to the center is going to be joining us on Sunday, July 26th at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time to 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And please join us for A Life of Infinite Freedom by Patrick Habula. Vicky wants to go ahead and say something about the wonderful suggested love offering of $30, and we hope you all can join.
Thank you. That was all perfect and complete what Katrina said. And he's also speaking on that Sunday. So this particular flyer is for the workshop, but he will be our speaker on that Sunday. A little bit different topic, and then that will feed into this. And I'm so thank you for catching. We don't have the EST on there. Tammy Evans is going to be putting this out there for us, and we need to make sure that we put it out there with the time zone. So thank you.
My pleasure. Movie night for those Star Trek fans or those who want to get popcorn and gather together. It's on Friday, July 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Zoom link. It's very cool. You bring your own treats. We gather together, watch the movie, and then get an opportunity to discuss afterwards. So please join us on this Zoom link. Homecoming. Yay! So the center is going to be doing an in-person gathering. I already bought my ticket to come out to Louisville, Kentucky, and it's Labor Day weekend. So Saturday, September 5th and Sunday, September 6th. So if you have any questions, please speak with either Joan or Vicky to learn more about this awesome opportunity to meet in person and spend time together. And I'm going to have Vicky go ahead and do the financial update.
Thank you, Katrina. I hope everyone has heard or seen in the weekly update that goes out on the Constant Contact. We did close June over our actual scheduled monthly budget. And I just want to take a moment to clarify, because there's our monthly expenses and then there's our monthly budget. Each month, the actual expenses are a little different. The budget, which holds for each month at $2,550 a month, is just over what our maximum of expenses would be. So we can always know that we're aiming to make sure that expenses get covered. Well, we covered June's expenses about a week before the end of the month, which was just so awesome. And then ultimately we did go over the actual budgeted amount of $2,550 because we closed the month of June at 2,500 and I'm sorry, 2,500. If I got an extra number in there, I think I got an extra number in there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it's
2,561.
Yes. Well, and that could be a beautiful thing. You know, we're just adding numbers on in there for amounts to keep expanding. So it's a beautiful thing, the work that we've done. It's a beautiful thing, the work that you all have done in raising your capacity to have financial flow in your lives, which translates into financial flow for the center cumulatively. And we just need to keep doing what we've been doing, both spiritually and in form, and we're just fine. And that's a fantastic thing. And so that will be the end of that. Of course, we're starting now July. This is our first Sunday in July. And so for July, once again, we're aiming for $2,550 overall. Go ahead.
Praise the presence of Spirit.
Yes.
Please join us for sharing time after the benediction, and I'll also be available for prayer support. The purpose of the Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to be a vital hub of beloved community. We learn and practice care and creativity for the gift of life as vessels of oneness, a synergy of spirit, soul, mind, and body for all beings. Our mission is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God. Our vision is a world that honors and respects all people. And our application of principle, I want to whisper in your ear, you have permission. You have permission to fully embody yourself, your heart, your gifts, your pain, your brilliance, your love. And this is Adrienne Marie Brown and Sonia Renee Taylor from Journal of Radical Permission, a daily guide for following your soul's calling. And our sacred reading and meditation is from my absolute favorite book, What the Heck is Gestalt? Today's topic is actually what I live and practice in my career, and I love it. My favorite topic, I could talk your ear off. So I'm going to read from Melissa Pierce on the chapter, Our Kaleidoscope. The human personality is comprised of many, maybe hundreds of parts. Some are set in place in our DNA or come from traits that are similar between all biological close relatives. Some are formed in response to our environment when we are growing up. Your family of origin, school teachers, neighbors, babysitters, and others in your life have had a hand in the formation of your personality and thus your parts. Some of our parts are formed from our temperament or typology, giving us clear preferences in terms of our learning style, social expression, and decision-making style, as well as how we use time and organize space. From our typology, many parts of self are created. Other parts are formed from experiences unique to us, particularly those that teach us something about ourselves, and those that are unfinished or leave scars or create our walls. Some of our parts form as we shift and change through maturing, the maturing process, and take on different roles in life. We may move from sister and daughter to wife and mother. For example, each role has its own needs, definitions, and understanding ourselves to develop different parts of self to support them. Parts form from conflict and they form from triumph. Each one is as unique to a person as their fingerprint. Two people can witness the same occurrence and see it differently. Parts also develop from our values, which are formed during the maturation process. A person's values support their decisions and even lead to their identity. Some values are formed from positive experiences and impact what the person wants to move towards experiencing in life. Others are formed from emotional states that a person wants to avoid or move away from. Each of these values contributes to the formation of many parts of self along the way, and all of our parts coexist in our personality. Each come forth to run the show or to be in alignment to support other parts, either consciously or more often subconsciously. I see this process as a grand kaleidoscope of our personality. Looking at the shards of glass in a kaleidoscope, we see it more to form and reform a beautiful and non-repeatable configuration and design. A little shift or turn causes the pieces to slide and form altogether a new design. The same glass fragments are involved each time, but some move into the foreground and others get covered as they pattern together in new ways with each slight movement. No parts or shards is more important than any other, although some appear frequently and others rarely. We are whole when we recognize, honor, and own every part. The ones in the light and the ones in the shadow. There are no bad parts. Each formed a specific reason, and each formed to assist the whole personality in some way. And that's by Melissa Pierce. And I'd like to bring us into contemplative meditation. So taking in those beautiful words from Melissa Pierce, let's breathe in to our own personal kaleidoscope. As unique as our fingerprint or a snowflake, all individual. Lean into our compassionate part of self. Allow that part of self to come to the foreground or to the surface with love and heartfelt compassion for all parts of self, all parts of our unique and divine kaleidoscope. What does it feel like to have compassion for ourselves and others come into this present moment, right here and right now? Observe compassion for ourselves and others. For me, compassion feels like a blessing or uplifting. I invite you to see it from that gift that compassion supports us. Now I invite you to bring forth that part of self that is powerful and empowered, to join compassion in the foreground or the front of our kaleidoscope. How does it feel to embody empowerment right here and right now in the present moment? I'm going to invite you to move your body into that superhero that feels really empowered. With courage, allow the whole of all parts of yourself to be loved with compassion and to be empowered for who we are. And being here in this present moment, right now, embody the gifts of the wholeness, the oneness, the all that is all of who you are. Breathing in that love, that grace, that oneness, that wholeness. I am so grateful. And so it is. Amen. And my dear friend, Jamie Lula, wrote a song, Compassion. And for our special music today, Tom will sing Compassion for each of you.
Grateful for your tenderness when life can be unkind. Grateful for the way you see when I'm stuck inside my mind. Grateful for the courage to hold your steady ground. I'm grateful for compassion when mine cannot be found. Oh, compassion when broken hearts bleed. Sweet compassion when my soul's in need. I find compassion for friends and enemies. My own compassion is where my spirit breathes. Grateful for your thoughtful words when emptiness abounds. Grateful for the way you take my hand and you turn my head around. I'm grateful for the healing, the warmth of your embrace. I'm grateful for compassion to touch a deeper place. Oh, compassion where broken hearts breathe. Sweet compassion when my soul's in need. I find compassion for friends and enemies. My own compassion is where my spirit breathes. Make me, mold me, shape me, shift me to all that I should be, that I may express my endless compassion. That is where I want to be. Oh, compassion where broken hearts bleed. Sweet compassion when my soul's in need. I find compassion for friends and enemies. My own compassion is where my spirit breathes.
So many blessings to people who do great covers of great songs. Take a little respite, take a little breather, and see where all of that lands for you so far. And thank you, Katrina, for again such a foundation to the message of the talk. Whole no matter what. It seems to me when I say that out loud, it sort of feels like the no matter what part could be a very loaded statement. Because there is such a great deal to process when we think about the reality that we are truly whole no matter what. And I love the analogy of the kaleidoscope. Some of you may recall the kaleidoscope came up a few Sundays ago, actually probably a couple months ago. But when you think about the visual of the kaleidoscope, you know, the pieces are continually moving and they're continually forming the most beautiful patterns. But every time the pattern changes, it all falls apart. So it falls apart, falls together, falls apart, falls together. But none of the pieces ever go away. And so I invite you all to keep that visual kind of in the back of your mind. And with that visual in mind, Katrina and I were asking ourselves, how do we encourage you all to find within you that no matter what you've been through, no matter what mistakes you've made, no matter where you are today, no matter what the current challenges are that you're facing, you are whole no matter what. Dr. Ernest Holmes said that we are perfect, whole, and complete because spirit is perfect, whole, and complete, and spirit is all that we are. But spiritual perfection does not mean that we're flawless. And when I really get to thinking about that juxtaposition between the origin and spirit, which is pure consciousness and unformed, etc., through the process of things becoming formed, it's like that's the piece that we're looking for there so often. Like, for heaven's sakes, if I'm spiritually perfect, then what is the problem with all these flaws? Why do I look in the mirror and see 1,000 blemishes or 1,000 things I'd take back if I could? In fact, spiritual wholeness means embracing the whole picture, everything, blemishes and all, mistakes and all, shadow and all, with nothing left out in human terms. And once again, remembering it's light, life, love, peace, power, beauty, joy, and all of the other universal qualities of spirit. That's what we are, no matter what. All the rest of this is what we're learning from. It's what we're learning from and what we're growing through. It's the courage to go through that kaleidoscope process all the time. And I think one of the encouragements is that as you watch the kaleidoscope come together and fall apart and come together and fall apart and over again, what gets created by all the parts together is some form of perfection, some beautiful thing. Possibly we are being called to let go of thinking that it's ever going to form the beautiful thing and not fall apart again. Just really trusting that process in God. And then we ask ourselves, well, why in the world would God do that? Why does God not want to create something that is actually experientially beautiful and just let it stay? But if you think of like the Buddhist monks who do the sand blowing, and they take forever blowing individual little grains of sand, and they create these perfect sculptures, and then you think, oh my goodness, can we just glue it together and hang it on the wall and make it perfect and make it never go away? And what do? They all get over there and they take those little blowers and they blow it all apart almost as quickly as they made the thing. And that's just about what it feels like God does. And so, if that's the process, possibly partially surrendering to that. And so as Katrina and I were engaging this, we said, oh my goodness. Okay, so how do we start? And we came up with compassion and empowerment. We went back and forth. Is it empowerment and compassion or compassion and empowerment? Ultimately, we decided to go with compassion and empowerment because generally we tend to start when we're really looking at the hard parts, we tend to start in a place of feeling more vulnerable. And then we need that compassionate part to lift us up in order to then be ready to engage our empowerment, even with all the different things that are challenging. So this is what we're diving into this month, individually and collectively, as individuals, as families, as teams, as cities. And because of what we're actually celebrating today in the birth of our nation, we're going to look at this as a nation for today as well. So to begin embracing wholeness completely means realizing ever more deeply that in spirit we're free. In spirit, freedom does ring. There isn't anything that isn't fully and completely free in spirit, always and in all ways. Yet in human experience, none of us are free until all of us are free. Because all of humanity, every single piece is like a piece in the kaleidoscope. And it's not possible for us to truly be embodied of something like actual freedom when there are still whole segments of humanity that are held up under what is actually some form of enslavement. And that's one of those things we'd rather duck. We'd rather, oh, can we just focus on the fun? Can we just celebrate? Can we? No, not really. Because when we discontinue looking at the whole picture in a balanced kind of way, that's when we start to get out of balance with regard to how we're acting, and remembering spiritual morality that says, what I do to someone else, I do to myself. And this is part of why, as long as there's anyone in our nation or in the world, really, once we get to encompassing the whole picture, keeping in mind that to bring forward from spirit into human experience the idea of true freedom, we have to hold that high watch until there isn't any sexual trafficking. There isn't any bartering for people to come here and be told, oh yeah, if you'll come over here and work for me as an indentured servant, then you can be free and do what you want in this nation. That stuff still goes on. People are still selling babies for, to because people want babies to adopt and they want them of a certain kind, and all of that. And yes, those are challenging things, but to be able to do the all of it and have that compassion and empowerment, so that as we look within the shadows of ourselves, as we look within the things that we ourselves would have done differently, and then we say, it's a holographic universe. So what is going on for me is going on in the collective. And then we say, okay, so when I look at a collective challenge, can I first recognizing the I, that what I see out there, I have a commonality with some kind of way, and then say, how do I bring compassion and empowerment to this before my judgments? Or if I stop to judge briefly, how can I then stop and say, this is really what I need to do instead? This is that lifting up, allowing love to lift us all up, right? And so, I'm going to take a little breath here for just a moment. In taking that pausing breath, I want to invite you all to turn within and just meet yourself. We just talked about a lot of different things, and all of it applies, but it certainly begins with us. And there is a gift that was given to us, and forgive me, I do not remember who originally gave this to us, but somebody found a letter to the parts of me that I have tried to exile. And the author of this is a beautiful woman named Rosemary Watola Tromer. And just sit back and gather yourself together inside, gather a little family meeting, and take this in. I'm sorry. I thought banishing you was the way to become better, more perfect, more good, more free. The irony? I thought if I cut you off and cast you out, if I built the walls high enough, then the parts left would be more whole. As if the sweet orange doesn't need the toughened rind, the bitter seed, as if the forest doesn't need the blue burning fire. It didn't work, did it? The exile. You were always here within me, jangling the hinges, banging the door, whispering through the cracks. Left to myself, I wouldn't have known to take down the walls. Nor would I have had the strength to do so. That act was by grace, distinguished and disguised as a disaster. But now that the walls have crumbled to rubble, it is also grace that teaches me to want to embrace you. Grace that guides me to be gentle even with the part of me that would still try to exile any other part within me. It is grace that invites me to name all parts beloved. How honest it all is, how human. I promise to keep learning how to know you as my own. I promise to practice opening to what at first feels unwanted, to meet it with understanding and compassion, trusting all belongs, and welcome you home. Embracing wholeness, we are called to equally appreciate our gifts and talents, our divine vocation, and the most challenging parts of ourselves. Once again, dropping back, recognizing that all of spirit is reciprocal and all of spirit is holographic. Holographic means that each part contains the whole. Now, I want to offer you an incredible opportunity to see the larger picture of the whole, coming back to rising the energy into our celebration. Somebody was asking about the Capitol 4th celebration that is done out of Washington on 4th of July. And certainly for the 250th, they did this. But it was actually a night early that Vernon and I caught it. And as a part of the Capitol 4th celebration, they had the actual crew of the Artemis II mission that flew to beyond the moon. And so, Vernon, if you could play that clip for me, please.
Now, as viewers of America's National Memorial Day concert know, every year the co-host of that important event is a friend and advocate for our country's service members, veterans, wounded warriors, and military families. He's an Oscar nominee, an Emmy Award-winning actor who we know from films like Forrest Gump and Apollo 13. So please welcome Gary Sinise.
Thank you. Thank you, Alfonso. Over the course of America's 250-year history, NASA has been a driving force behind so many of our nation's landmark events. There was Alan Shepard's first flight into outer space by an American in May 1961. John Glenn orbiting the Earth a few months later. The successful Gemini and Apollo missions. And then, in July 1969, 150 million Americans watched in awe as Neil Armstrong took those first steps on the lunar surface.
The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
This past April, the world watched once again an extraordinary American success as the Artemis II mission broke new ground, setting the record for the farthest humans have ever traveled from our home planet. reaching an incredible maximum distance of 252,756 miles from Earth. Simply put, the Artemis II mission inspired countless people across our country who joined together to witness history being made once again. And now, please join me in welcoming our 4 special guests, the astronauts from Artemis II, Commander Reed Wiseman, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen. Fantastic. Reed, as we celebrate our nation's 250th anniversary, what message do you have about the mission and what lies ahead?
Well, Gary, what the 4 of us just got to do, myself, Victor, Christina, Jeremy, that was very special. But tonight, we want to thank all of you, folks in the U.S. and around the world, because you all showed up for us and we celebrated together. So thank you all. What's coming next here on America's 250th birthday? We have a crew on the International Space Station. We have rovers on Mars. We are sending probes to the moon of Jupiter. We are getting ready to launch Artemis III next year. So tonight, let's just celebrate and enjoy the gifts that this nation has given all of us.
Victor, what does it mean to you to celebrate our 250th right here at the nation's capital?
Gary, it's special. It's special. This time is special. America will only turn 251 time. We're in a special place. That building is amazing. That's the people's house. It's a special place. There's a room in there on the wall. It has a scripture that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And we love coming here and celebrating. And this is just a really special place to do it. But most important is the people, the special people, all of you that are gathered here today. We love you, and God bless the United States of America.
Christina, what was the most exciting moment of the flight for you?
Most exciting moment, I have to say, feel that excitement until splashdown. That moment where our capsule was right off the coast of San Diego, we had been focused.
Open it down.
We had been focused. That was awesome. You know, the whole mission, launch, going around the far side of the moon, we were so focused on what we were accomplishing, but that moment of splashdown was that absolute excitement that we were going to come back, we were going to hand the batons to the next crew, and we were going to bring back to this country, to this world, a landing on the moon very soon.
So, Jeremy, what was it like looking at the moon and when you look back at Earth?
I tell you, just imagine yourself floating there in the Integrity spacecraft with us and seeing the moon up close, and you fall in love with it in a completely new and magical way, seeing all its grandeur, the textures, but then something even more incredible happens. The Earth comes into the window at the same time, and you see tiny Earth. And you don't see a country anymore, you just connect with your planet. It's an incredible thing. And I'll just remind you, as you celebrate your 250th, you can be proud, America, of the international collaboration that you led that spread moon joy around the world and reminded us we are better together.
All of us appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us here tonight. What you did was truly inspiring, and we all join in to thank you for coming tonight. And I can think of no better musical tribute for these 4 astronauts who have the right stuff than the Bill Conti Oscar-winning theme from the film The Right Stuff, performed by the National Symphony Orchestra. Jack, take it away.
I think we can hardly get enough of seeing that thin blue line. In one of those shots, it showed the thin blue line, and that is the Earth's atmosphere. And that's our bubble. That's the bubble that keeps all of what we have here. Um, and so there again, just taking a moment to take that in. Um, and I just want to visit one piece that came up a week or two ago. Vernon, if you could put up the next slide for me, please. Those of you who were here when I did this particular talk that had the song by Cynthia Erivo in it, and then this image of this beautiful lady, Opal Lee. She is known as the grandmother of Juneteenth because she's the one that stood her ground until on a federal level it was recognized that Juneteenth needed to be recognized as a holiday, as the day of actual final emancipation, eradicating enslavement. And I want to drop back here for just this moment because here again, it's about both things. It's about our successes and our leading edge, and remembering that we need to be enfolding and encompassing that which is the shadow on a consistent basis, and not be afraid and not tuck it away. And one of the things I want to say about this, first of all, she did this walk this year. Those of you may recall me saying before, like, this is going on now. This isn't, decades or 100 years ago. And when we think about, so what is the deal? When will it be enough that we have talked about this country's history with enslavement and the whole racism piece and all of that? And the thing to understand is that the level of healing that is called for is ginormous. It is at least as long as actual enslavement went on. And when you stop to realize that between 1965 and 1865, when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, is only 100 years, we have made progress, and we need to make more progress. And what I want to say to those of you who are within the sound of my voice now or later is the other side of that needs to be held is not only the healing that needs to happen for the generations of people that were enslaved in this country, is that those who did the enslaving also ended up traumatized. They did not realize it, but they were hurting themselves. They were hurting their generations moving forward. And so when you ask yourself, what can I do to resolve this and not have, 89-year-old women who are still needing to take a stand to resolve this, is to own the related to enslaver piece, because both sides need to be held. And if we will do that, we will continue to make progress on both sides and absolutely be celebrating the progress that we've made and the reality that we can come to a day where we don't need to talk about this in the way that we do now. So thank you for your patience in holding this in your heart. And let me go back to my notes now. So, in closing, this week, my encouragement to you is to find a way to recognize the entire kaleidoscope of yourself. And when you come up against things in your past, either things that happened to you or things that you did that feel like shards of glass, that don't feel comfortable, and it's like, ooh, how do I clean up that mess? Be willing to simply ask Spirit and possibly ask people around you for help, but be willing to work with it rather than cutting it off and putting it behind another wall or in another little trunk someplace inside you. I do believe in this moment that's all that need be said, because I know that this has struck each of you in your own way, and that is enough. And so, join me, if you will, in closing prayer. Dropping back to where we began, working that holographic process, working that complete gestalt. Take a breath and find that space within you that already knows that it knows that you are perfect, whole, and complete. No more really need be done. No more really need be said. And so, because this word isn't about changing spirit, it's about expanding our ability to receive. I simply say, I recognize one life. That life is my life. That life is all the life there is. And as it is all the life there is, it is my life right now and the life of each person within the sound of my voice. And from this alignment, I realize that all of this has met each person where they have shown up and taken it all to the next level. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for all of this and more. I release it, I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you for honoring inclusivity, compassion, empowerment, oneness, and wholeness today. And thank you for all of you in the community who have supported this center and through your financial contributions, through the way that you serve, in the activities that you do to make this center in a place of wholeness. As you can see on the screen, if you'd like to continue to contribute, you can use credit card, debit card, PayPal, Zelle, and you can also mail checks to the Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, P.O. Box 43958, Louisville, Kentucky 40253. And I will go ahead and read the prosperity, July's prosperity clarity. As my consciousness rises in spirit, I realize that good of God blesses every area of my life now. So thank you, and I will pass this to Vicky to do the blessing of the offering.
Knowing it is already done even before we've asked, I simply uplift this multiplying basket, knowing that as representative fish and loaves are deposited here, that everything that moves through this center comes through this little central basket and is multiplied 10 times over, 100 times over, and distributed back out to those who are seeking all that we have here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. I release it, I let it be, and so it is.
And as we remember the kaleidoscope and every part, remember that all parts are magnificent. We are magnificent. And our closing song, Look for the Good, by Jason Mraz.
Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. People done gone crazy. People done gone mad. People done forgot the superpowers we all have. We were born to love, not hate. We can decide our fate and look for the good in everyone and celebrate all our mistakes if there's a silver lining. You still have to find it, find it, find it. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone needs sunshine. Everyone needs rain. Everyone is carrying around some kind of pain. I see who you are. You're just like me. I see you're searching for a purpose, guided by a dream. I see who you are. I'm just like you. I get lost sometimes and I forget what I came here to do. I keep on trying, when it gets frightening. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone is nature. Everyone is God. Everyone is love and light and vibration. Look for the good. Look for the good. Everyone gets mad sometimes and maybe they should. Look for the good. Look for the good. Yeah, look out for all the heroes in your neighborhood. Look for the good. Look for the good. Life sure would be sweeter if everybody would. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the good. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone.
Say with me if you would like our new benediction for the month. Divine Spirit, Mother, Father, God, eternal wholeness and freedom is your gift and birthright of all beings. Guide us in the truth that the way of freedom lies through the intelligent use of nature's laws. The law of mind is a natural law in the spiritual world, available to all here now. Amen. And that was paraphrased from Dr. Ernest Holmes.